Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna be reacting to
Kim Soo Hyun text revealed. NewJeans Halts All Activities. Ador Shook. South Korea birth rate.
going
Ink
up,
up? That looks like
going
it's going
up,
up.
up, up,
Okay.
up. You know why? Because the song's like pineapple slice for me. That the guys have been making the music.
Yeah, time for you.
So you guys can
Yeah.
get
Please come to
busy.
Korea and rejuvenate our country.
Yeah, fill us up.
Oh, it's them again. Hey, ooh, I like their intro.
This is
That's
favorite
super
K-pop show,
cool.
DEK News.
Danny.
Why can't we do
David,
something nice like
Hot
that?
Ass T. We're in a rush because Danny has
We
to
do
go
a
to work.
little
First off, we
routine.
have NewJeans halting all activities. Ador is baffled, and the
Yeah, I don't
They're
like the background song.
they're like news reporters.
Oh, we
Just
don't,
give it-
we
just
don't
gives, like,
report the news.
Yeah.
We're doing tea, guys.
Korean public gets super angry due to alleged anti-Korean interview with Time Magazine and BBC.
And second, we have birth rates finally rebounding.
Okay, and finally something not K-pop on DK News.
And something
I'm refreshed.
happy.
So refreshing.
A positive news.
Honestly though, this has been the biggest topic in Korea for a while, so don't
There
skip
was
one.
this one guy who was making one of our K idols uncomfortable talking about the birth rate. Remember? That was
Yeah.
like last week news.
Yeah, but
Look at
it's
this
a
week.
problem. It was a yeah, no, I mean,
I think he has to get upset at everybody.
no, it's a real issue, and not just
Yeah.
South Korea and Europe. I think here in the States is a little bit of an issue too, especially with the immigrants being deported now. You know, because immigrants kind of help the population a little bit without them. So it's a problem. You know.
Last but not least, we have Kim Se-ron's family reveals text messages and letters from the late Kim Se-ron.
And on to the first news.
So everyone
Whoa.
knows that the Seoul Central District Court recently has granted a temporary injunction filed by Ador against the 5 members of the group NewJeans, prohibiting the group from independently engaging in any entertainment activities or signing advertising
So I wonder
contracts
what they're
without
gonna do in the
Ador's prior
meantime. Are they
approval.
gonna do, like,
However, on March
TikTok or, like-
23rd, during their performance at ComplexCon in Hong Kong, NewJeans proceeded with their show and announced, "Today's performance may be our last for some time. Following the court's decision, we've decided to halt all activities. It wasn't an easy decision, but it's necessary for us right now." And during this performance, the group introduced a new song titled Pit Stop, which we reacted to on Patreon. And the stage featured their newly chosen group named NJZ. Ador, the
So
agency
they reacted
stated,
on
"We
their
deeply
Patreon.
regret
They
their
say,
performance."
Adore, you're not gonna come for our
Yeah,
coin.
'cause, yeah, touch.
We can't react to it.
Yeah, I don't want to react to it.
Under
I'm gonna
another
be in
name,
court.
and their
Ja.
announcement to suspend activities
Hey, honey.
without consultation. We remain
What they're gonna do now to kind of answer the question? Well, they're gonna, file the appeals, go through the appeal courts, and see how that develops. Should the appeal be successful, good for them. But otherwise, I don't know. Either gonna have change of heart, go back, or wait until 2027.
committed to
I
our
thought it was
contract
2028.
Whatever, one of them.
and hope to discuss future plans with the artist soon. Also, in a recent BBC News Korea interview, members explained their reasons behind the suspension. Hani stated, "All the decisions we made over the past year resulted from extensive internal discussions. Honestly, it's not comfortable for us to keep bringing this up as it involves other teams as well, and we don't want to negatively impact them. Just because we're young, people might think we're taking these issues lightly, but that's absolutely not true. We've always agreed among ourselves that if even one member disagrees, we won't proceed. Decisions could only be made with all 5 members in agreement." Danielle commented, "After the court's ruling, we genuinely expected a different outcome. Everyone who saw the news was shocked. We just want to continue working. We want to do what we love without interference."
I don't understand why they were shocked. That was so obvious that even people without law background could see what's going on. So I don't know why they were shocked. Why they were so convinced that they would win that case. I don't understand that. There was no evidence whatsoever they could provide to back any of their claims. There was a lot of hearsay,
Yeah.
sure, but that's not evidence. So I'm confused why they were shocked. How did they not see this coming? I don't know.
Lies or misunderstandings. And last, Hain added, "Some people probably think we're incredibly famous and can do and say whatever we want. We held everything in for a long time and have only just started speaking up about the injustices we've experienced, yet socially things aren't working out in our favor." NewJeans also expressed disappointment in the court's ruling in an interview with Time Magazine, suggesting it reflects broader issues within the Korean entertainment industry. They emphasized the need for industry-wide change and growth, hinting that Korean society may be pushing them into a role.
I mean, that's true, but the way they're going about it, it kind of is the good message, wrong messenger. Because the way they're going about it is not helping the industry at all.
The message is correct. I would say, yeah, they're not wrong. The industry is flawed, and there should be changes.
Yeah.
But they have signed a contract though. Like for them to make a change would be live out the contract, finish the deal, and then you're such a big group, have so much sway after 7 years.
Yeah.
You're like maybe Blackpink or bigger, maybe not, but on that level you actually have something where you can negotiate terms, influence decisions, and make the better contract,
but
and potentially make or open your own company, industry friendly not industry, artist friendly company where you give better deals and everything. Or maybe you'll start to give better deals and you'll see that, okay, we're going bankrupt, and that's why these things are done the way they are. So I don't know, but you cannot just breach a contract and say, oh yeah, things K-pop is like how do I say this, like the overall K-pop contracts are bad, so that's why I'm going to breach it and I'm going to challenge it because it's a bad contract. No, it's still a contract. You signed it. You knew it was bad before signing it. The details haven't changed. So
to me, I'm trying to see what was bad with their contract, because the only flaws that I've seen, not even related to the contract. Okay, the CEO didn't
actually,
take a
good point.
picture with them. Okay.
Yeah, no.
The other
that's a great
complaint,
point. Yeah.
they say someone didn't say hi to them. We saw they did. Even they say it was not a big deal. Okay. The girls, they had a lot of budget to promote their work. They were one of the top groups for Hive. Period. And also, I'm just not seeing where was the struggle. What struggle are we talking about?
Yeah, it seems like the issue wasn't with the contract. It was like something. Clearly, Min Hee-jin and Ador had an issue, and Min Hee-jin influenced the girls to go with her because Min Hee-jin had to go. She knew she had to go.
It could be a case where they don't know how much of a cut they're getting, because maybe they, NewJeans making money, but are the girls touching this money? Because
they
felt
have a debt.
Yeah, but they felt that even the Seraphim, why they have this deal? They're taking off our money. This is our money that they're taking. So maybe people who do that, maybe they usually not getting to feel this money, taste this money, see this money work to believe it's real. So maybe it's more how much are the girls actually really taking home to give to their parents, to live on their own and stuff like that.
Yeah. So another issue that was brought up in our Discord is that the 100 million won or some shit that Hype took from Ador back to Hype, which is, I don't necessarily have a problem with that because you can take investment back from the company. It's not like you can't. If you invest money into the company, you can take it back too. So I don't really see that as a problem. I think they portraying it as, oh, they took that money out to help her sell her film, and maybe they did. But at the end of the day, it's Hype's business what they do with that money. It's not NewJeans not entitled to that money.
I don't know. I kind of low key disagree, because if you put money into the group, once you put money there, that money already spent. If it hasn't even spent already, like if we're expecting 100K, you just took out that 100K back. I'm like, honey,
no,
sweetie.
It wasn't just they already made profit and they took the profit out.
Oh, so they took profit?
Yeah, so to pay out the dividends to themselves. Like that's what that money is for. That money is not to you can choose to make the money sit there, but you can also pull it out. Like you're not. It's not like something unethical to pull out the money of the investment.
Oh, I didn't know it was profit. I thought it was like
no, it wasn't like it wasn't like
if the expenses, like if there's a budget for expenses that was already assigned and they assigned it, and then they turn around and say, oh no, let me take back a little bit.
No,
that money is spent.
No, it wasn't like they immediately took the money out when they started the group. They took the money out like last year or something, after like the group already generated plenty of income.
You see how you explained it to me? I don't know if they explained it to the girls that way.
As revolutionists or reformers. Meanwhile, attorney Ko Sang-rok from Kim Hyun-jang, which was a big fan of NewJeans, actually came out criticizing the group's comments about the Time interview in specific, stating it's time to wake up. He described their statements as disrespectful to the industry, veterans, and colleagues, and also the Korean media quickly picked up the Time magazine interview.
It is disrespectful, I guess. It's from their perspective, they live in Korea, they deal with those people, it's bad. For us to say that is different because we're not there, we're not dealing with them, we're not in the industry. But for someone in the industry to say, oh, industry is flawed, It's bad because then you have to
how
work with the
how
others.
we start feeling the effects when they take the practices from South Korea and they do that in California.
And that's when we say it's bad because it touched us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we still say it's bad in Korea too, but it's
Yeah.
easier to say because it like, okay. Like, for example, okay, take the American government, right? It's easy for the
Why you whisper it? They gonna come get us?
No, I'm just trying to think of an example. Like take the Trumps.
Oh, we whispering. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
No, but for real, take the Trumps like cabinet, right?
Yeah.
Somebody like
Okay, can you whisper it?
No.
I'm trying to get take.
you like Democrats in the Senate, whatever, they can talk shit about Trump. Who cares?
Mhm.
Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
But cabinet members, they might feel the same way because they see what the fuck is happening in the country, all the bullshit tariffs. They can't say nothing though. So because that's their colleagues. So it's kind of similar to NewJeans. They're like, that's their colleagues. You can't because by saying that, you're insulting your colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
That, oh, you stupid motherfuckers making these stupid decisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's a little problematic.
Along with Attorney Ko's criticism of NewJeans being anti-Korean. This sparked intense negative public reactions. Some online comments said they disregard contracts, ignore the law, and now they're ignoring Korea itself. Kids raised on K-pop, money now destroying the K-pop industry. They're stepping on their juniors before they even debut. If you're going to keep whining, stop being K-pop idols and just sing at a karaoke. Whoa.
This is harsh. That's hard.
Yeah, this behavior disrespects everyone who worked tirelessly to promote Korean culture globally. They owe their success to these efforts, but are now acting ungratefully. They should just disappear. Oof.
Oh, that's harsh.
In response to escalating
Yeah, so that's why they went to do the global media platforms, because clearly the Korea is turning on them.
online harassment, though, NewJeans' legal representative Sejong announced that they would proactively monitor online communities and social media and take legal action against defamatory and malicious comments. So that's what's been happening, and we've watched their Time and BBC full interview,
I
plus
think
their
they
new
need to
song on
reflect
Patreon, so
on
go check out our
themselves. Because if everyone is saying you're wrong and you're still out here saying you're right, that's really wrong.
Not everyone, they have their bunnies that are hyping them up.
reactions and thoughts on the full interview and the after show. And my question for today is, what now?
I don't think anything's changed since last week.
It's gotten worse.
I think we have
it's
to
actually
take.
actively gotten worse.
I don't know what age are the bunnies that are still on their side.
So people said these are grown ass old men.
Either they drop their ego and go back to Ador, or they just can't really perform anymore legally. Now, just to be clear, the decision from the court last week, it wasn't banning them from performing. It was just telling them that you gotta perform under Ador.
Yeah.
They still have that door open, and Ador has consistently stated that they will have that door open for NewJeans. So as long as they
Now, let's make something clear. Ador is not a good guy here either. They're doing what they have to do to win the case. They have to pretend that they're willing to accept NewJeans and open arms and be best friends for the courts, because if at least based on how the attorney described in the video we did, if the courts say that, if they determine that the relationship is too far gone, then there is a case to make that the contract can be voided. So Ador has to pretend that the relationship is still there, that they want to make this work. Now, do they actually want to make this work, or do they fuck over the girls? I don't know. I'm not saying that they want to do either or, but we can't be sit here naive that, oh, Ador is the good guy here. I don't think there's a good guy here per se.
If I was NewJeans, I would look for a weak link in Ador. Send me some text messages talking shit about us.
They tried and they got caught, and remember that's when the person got fired and all the media they had to just give up all the devices to get deleted and everything. I think that's exactly what happened. So I don't think there's defense for Ador either. I don't think the Ador is a good guy here. I think NewJeans fucked up out of naivete, probably.
Naivete.
Ador fucked up out of greed. They both fucked up.
come back, they'll be ready to support. But so far, they haven't dropped their stance yet. But I think time will come. The only other scenario is Ador says, okay, we give up.
But that's not gonna happen.
Maybe they say, okay, like this is a pointless legal battle.
That's not gonna happen because they have investors to worry about. They cannot just give up such a big asset that would be a big loss for all the investors. It would crumble the company.
This is what you do with my money?
Yeah. Huge amounts of penalty.
You let my
fees
money
to
walk out the
us.
door?
You just settle it, and then you guys can do your own stuff.
That's never gonna happen.
Okay. Well then,
I think it got worse because maybe there was a little silver lining there because Ador approached them and said like, oh, we're ready to support you for ComplexCon. We can talk there. But then there was an article saying that Ador tried to contact them at the site, but then they got blocked. Yeah, so they had no interaction there. NewJeans on stage just
That's also not a good look for NewJeans. They can't block. They have to also put up face the same way. If they want to win, they have to put up face the same way Ador is putting up face. Like
they gotta do the dance.
They have to do the. Yeah, Ador is dancing. NewJeans have to dance back. But they can't just. That's why Ador is gonna win, because Ador is dancing. NewJeans is not. NewJeans is just being stubborn. Like, this is not about stubbornness. Even if NewJeans is in the wrong, you have to at least fake it till you make it somehow. You know, like, they're not faking it. They're just like, oh no, fuck y'all, I'm not talking to you. Just childish.
announced that this is going to be their last performance for a while.
Oh,
They've
so
halted all
so like
activities.
Ador had no access.
idea. Yeah.
No access.
It's just crazy to think, like, even after the injunction, of course, we knew that they would appeal, but no one knew that they would declare, like, oh, we're stopping all activities because we don't want to perform on Ador. I at least thought
pretty crazy.
if Ador opened doors for them to perform, they prepare for their new song and all that. They prepared a long time for that, right? So maybe.
What did you think would they do? Did they have an idea or no?
If they have an idea about what?
No, did you have an idea what they would do? When we first heard that, okay, NewJeans have to go perform under Ador. What did you think they would go perform, or did you think they would quit?
To perform under Ador?
Yeah.
No, they were not gonna perform under Ador. I thought they were gonna go perform and just be called by their names, not NewJeans, not NGZ, but just their names.
But continue on performing, not go on a hiatus, or did you think they would go on a hiatus?
I thought they would go perform.
I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. I don't know.
I thought they would go perform and it still be an issue, and I thought maybe on Monday they'll go back to Hybe.
We were saying that, yeah, that
I thought this was a good setup for. Remember our plot? They were
No,
gonna
I
go
know the
back.
plot. I remember the plot, but I don't think I believe the plot. I think we were just, talking the plot.
Yeah, but it was a good
for fun.
But honestly,
It was a
this would have been
setup. It was a
good
good
setup
Yeah,
for the girls.
I don't think it was gonna happen
to bring them
though.
back in favor with the people.
I don't know.
Because now, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Like, now you're not
Nowhere.
performing.
Yeah, 3 years hiatus. That's where we go. I don't know. I don't honestly. I don't think I thought about what they would do. Because what they're saying right now, because he was thinking. I don't know if I was thinking about it at all.
If they were like, we prepared this for a long time for our fans, let's continue our performances, even if it's under Ador in the meantime, but we can still go with the legal stuff and the performances.
I guess I was kind of low-key hoping they would work it out.
Yeah, because to me, they did seem
Such a
like they were like,
silly issue.
really, really up in arms of not doing anything, because I saw them, they go to a concert, they were out there having fun.
You know what just
showing
hit
the
me?
face. What?
So one of the claims that for the breakup was that Ador wanted to put them for hiatus. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
On a hiatus, they put them on a 6-month long vacation or some shit like that.
They end up doing that even longer.
They end up doing that. Now they said, "Oh, we are going on a hiatus." Not Ador forced them to. They chose to do. So like, how the fuck you gonna claim Ador wanted me to do that? That's why I'm leaving, and then leave and do the same thing that Ador wanted you. So maybe Ador knew better for you than you did knew for yourself.
It's a team that is very stubborn.
Yeah.
side by side, but then all the bridges are burnt now.
I don't think either one of them is going to back down. Realistically, it's just the way it is. I doubt that the court ruling will be anything different from what we.
And speaking of court, we have the legal court and the public court. So until now, at least for the Korean side of the public court, it was half-half. But I think the balance has tilted to the negative side, especially with the time interview, because of what the lawyer said as well, that it's anti-Korean. Do you think that interview was anti-Korean, as he states?
I don't think it was anti-Korean. I think it was criticizing.
Exposed, like you taking our business out to the mainstream, like.
It puts the
now we all look at South Korea.
I would
y'all
argue
giving very
why
north.
It's anti.
It's giving very north.
It puts the country in the negative light.
Yeah,
that's why it's anti. Because right now that interview does put the country from somebody who's not in this, who just follows BBC casually or like CNN. Interviews like that where you just present one side and kind of trash talk the country a little bit.
Yeah,
it does put negative light on the country. So you can say what you want to say, but it does.
The K-pop industry.
I'm not saying they like completely trash the country, no, but it's just like for somebody who knows nothing about Korea, and this is the first article they're going to see about Korea. They're going to think Korean
South Korea.
K-pop music industry is some sort of shit.
Like
of
a
course,
cult
there
or
are
something.
lots of problems within the industry,
Which
but
it is,
I think,
but-
like I said on Patreon, I got pretty triggered on Patreon while watching that interview. Basically, the problem is that they're only rookies, technically, only 2 years in being active. They haven't paid the dues in terms of in K-pop, in the industry, to say those kind of things and still be respected.
So like, if it was like a hugely
That's a good point too. If it was someone like BTS coming out saying that,
Man.
that's different. BTS,
They pull in
Blackpink.
big numbers.
No, but it's like
NewJeans is heard
this,
in the States.
No, but this is what I wanted from Lisa in the album to say. What NewJeans is saying, well, that's what I wanted Lisa to say.
This is not Lisa's fight.
No,
Lisa
but
is
no. But
comfortable.
I'm saying if Lisa said something like that, talked about her struggle in her music, like kind of exposing the industry a little bit, it would be okay because she's been through, she's established, she's a global superstar now.
I think it would be still scary for her to do so.
It's scary,
because
that's why she didn't
she's
do
not
it.
even South Korean.
So that's why she didn't
How
do
you come
it.
from Thailand? You talking about South Korea?
I know,
Girl,
but
are you,
I'm
are
saying
you crazy?
that's why she didn't do because it's scary to do. But that's why I'm saying it would have been cool. But for NewJeans to do that, they're not even established like that. They've been around for what, 3 years?
That's a long time.
respected,
In a
like
world
massively
that has
successful
short
figure in
attention
K-pop,
span.
like first generation or like
3
big
years
groups
is a
that
long
came out on
time
this
in
review, and
TikTok
they can state
world.
their own opinions, freedom of speech, right? You know, if they gone through a lot and they're just looking in retrospect and they want the good for their hubes, they want to pave the way for
Yeah,
better
several
treatment,
summers.
then that can be justifiable. Or another case would be if it was like a hugely abused group, mistreated group, that there's a ton of evidence that there's like sexual harassment, there's like physical abuse,
If
and
we're
all
doing
that.
this in
Or
2
if
years, that means we still here. That we're gonna be stuck for another 2 years and
I
another
don't
2 years.
understand what you're saying.
I'm saying that if you're like memorable for after 1 year and you go into your second
Okay,
year,
Rochelle, there's people in the industry from 20 years. Someone who comes in 3 years is a baby. They don't have the rights to talk shit. It's like in
I'm
the
not saying
NBA,
that.
a
I'm
rookie
not
comes in and talks shit about the veterans. No.
it depends if they're really good.
Doesn't matter how good they are. You don't come in and talking shit about people
I
who have
think if
actually
you-
won the championships,
I
not
think
not somebody
it
who never.
depends how much success you
What
accomplish in that
success
2
do
years.
they haven't done anything. What have they
haven't done
done?
anything?
No.
Yeah, the numbers haven't charted.
Have they been on Billboard #1? No.
I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't. I'm telling you, they haven't.
Okay then.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the reason why they're getting so much media attention is because
They
they're.
in their heads are too big. They think that they
But
should
then
when
why
they're
are they
not.
getting so much attention?
Because they pay the companies to talk about them.
You think they're paying people to talk about them?
Well, the BBC for the interview, possibly.
But aside from that,
So
Because,
what
like, for
other attention
example,
they get?
like every week we always covering.
But these are
something new.
regular YouTube channels. They do it because they get clicks.
Oh, okay.
was from a much smaller company.
Yeah.
But they just rose to this stardom.
Right.
You know, in 2 years.
There are plenty of cases like Luna, they won on court. There was Omega X, I think. There are other groups too. In general, what they said in the interview
Yeah,
itself
50-50
would stand.
got like after they went big, they got into a
But
whole situation.
There was actual mistreatment there. There is no.
We thought there was mistreatment too. I didn't
never
know
thought
until,
there was mistreatment.
until I saw the video. I don't
didn't
know.
think that. I'd never considered that mistreatment.
In their culture, they say it's mistreatment.
No, it's because somebody junior to you doesn't bound. Now
I don't
the label
know.
is mistreating you. No.
I don't know. I'm all the way in the U.S. hearing about
The only
this.
thing that video changed for me, the video and the
What?
text, is that made me think that Hani's a liar. Before
Yeah,
that,
she's a liar.
before that,
She's a pretty little liar.
before that, I didn't think that. I thought it's just not a big deal. Now I see that it's just not true. Period. But either way, like that didn't change anything. Even if I saw the video corroborating her story, I would be like, okay, so what? Deal with it. You're an adult.
Oh.
Like there's way worse situations at work that you have to deal with than somebody not saying hi to you. Like that's just pathetic.
But the timing, their situation, it's not painted in a good light.
No, definitely not. And I think that like they come from such a big company with
Yeah.
so much money and funding towards the group, that just makes it kind of worse because like, oh, you've been one of the biggest beneficiaries of this K-pop system and this industry becoming so big. Like whatever they're saying is pretty fair, but it's just the general sentiment, especially in Korea where we care about seniority and your experience. And in Korea, like that will be taken as arrogant or disrespectful.
Why
I
this
see.
became like
I
a
can see
deal
that.
breaker in the Korean public sentiment is also not only that the lawyer stated it as anti-Korean, the angle of it wasn't really pretty. A lot of Korean people pointed out, oh, why are they going to these foreign outlets like Time and BBC and only doing interviews there. And
because the locals don't listen to them.
Media doesn't want to cover them positively.
right, one could argue that, but then, you know, optics-wise, that's how it's presented. So the Korean public right now is like, the court ruled on Ador's side for the injunction, and then you halted all your activities. Now you're going to foreign media and talking about the Korean industry and K-pop industry. So the chain of these
They
things,
haven't halted
even if you were
activities.
on
They're still
NewJeans
doing interviews. It's not a halt.
Okay, they halted activities as NewJeans. They're doing interviews as the 5 individual girls.
side, such as that attorney, it's very hard to try to support them at this point. Anyways, I think those two interviews did
more harm than
good. I sympathize with.
And what doesn't help is that bunnies are going around trending to sue YouTubers or reporting, you know, for the like copyright strike and YouTubers. That really doesn't help. That if anything, that makes the cause worse. Because if you truly have something going, like if you truly believe in your cause, then you don't need to.
You want more ears to hear it.
You don't know that, but also you don't want to shut down the critics. You want to prove the critics wrong. Shutting down critics means the critics are right, but you're just trying to silence them through authoritarianism. That's what the dictators do. That's not how to go about it. Like if you have something that's truthful, you just go and you prove it everyone, and everybody's gonna shut up. You don't try to shut others up by forcing them to stop talking about it. You know, that's like what Trump's trying to do
with the girls, but then it's really hard to see their current situation in a positive light right now. I did see them trying to say we're uncomfortable.
And also, their channel was on the list too, by the way.
About talking about other girl groups.
Did they address that or no?
I do believe that they believe that with their heart, but it's just like at this point the damage has been done. People are already pissed. So whatever you say,
Why did they say that was so bad?
Gone into damage control.
see that.
Honestly, I feel like they're pretty unbiased.
They're pretty nice too.
Okay,
Anyways,
and
check
thought
out
we
more of
would
our
be
thoughts on
flamed.
Patreon and on to the
too
next
small, I guess.
news.
happy news.
Ooh, finally.
Korea is having babies again.
Wow.
Yes, this is
This
like
is the channel
out
of
the blue.
love.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, like I've never expected
I
to
love
see
you
this kind
guys.
of news.
Yeah.
We are not disappearing.
Do you love babies?
Yet,
We've
people.
extended maybe 10
Babies?
more.
What do
Yes.
you mean?
Not 10. This is just for January. Don't get too
Oh
excited.
yes, let's
South
talk
Korea's
about
birth rate
it.
soars by 11.6%
Whoa.
in
Yeah.
January, the largest jump since 1981.
In January, a lot of
Wow.
Capricorns
of-
and Aquarius.
Pineapple slice of meat. When did it come out? September or so?
Yeah.
Declining birth
Oh
rates,
yeah.
Maybe wasn't that like summertime or something?
Birth rate jumped by a whopping 11.6% compared to January of last year. Now, South Korea's extreme birth rate decline has been well documented, and the country had been experiencing a concerning trend of declining birth rates for 8 consecutive years of just literally, like if you see the graph, it's like,
It's like my stock portfolio.
yeah, very sad. And it reached the world's lowest birth rate, particularly in Seoul. The birth rate was just 0.58.
Oh
For every
that's
couple,
horrible.
they will
Hold on,
have
let's take a look at that.
Seoul, the birth rate was just 0.
Wow, that's bad. That's real bad. The optimal is 1.2, I believe. That's like, you know, the goal. So they're at like 0.58. That's oof.
Wow.
Yeah.
0.58. For every couple, they will have 0.58 children, despite 18% of the country's population residing there. So what is the reason behind this recent improvement?
That's what I'm curious about.
Experts suggest that marriages might be playing the key role. There was a notable rise in marriages, impressive 14.9% in 2024, biggest jump since records started in 1970.
So what's the reason for increase in marriages?
Okay, the increase in marriages were due to the COVID pandemic because people stopped getting married during the pandemic because they weren't able to hold these big fancy weddings because of the social distancing rules.
But that's just, you know, it was still not doing good before COVID though, so I wonder.
So they were like, let's see if the pandemic ends and then we can get married with lots of people. So after the pandemic ended, whole explosion of marriages came into Korea.
Wait,
This
so
is the actual explanation.
wait, so what you're saying is I'm using my social studies abilities here.
Yeah.
So the graph would have been like this, but then because of COVID, it was like this and this.
Exactly.
Okay.
So actually, it's a little bit of a,
It's a statistic thing.
statistic trickery
Oh my
where you
God.
drop so hard that you can only go up from there.
It's a dead cat bounce.
Yeah, exactly. So, but there are other factors at play.
Please.
For
A
example,
dead cat bounce.
generational shift. So the demographic group of South Korea, one of the largest demographics in South Korea is us, millennials. These are the children of second generation baby boomers. And now we've come to an age, the millennials have come to an age where they are having kids. That seems to be driving the trend. So Actually, that does not make
Yeah,
any
that does
sense.
not make sense.
This is not,
because every single year.
Yeah, because there's another generation that should have been having kids before millennials, so it's not up to the millennials to have kids right now.
People.
So that actually does not make sense.
Okay.
No. Maybe it's because we see other millennials getting married. It's like a pandemic in itself where it's like, oh, maybe I should get married. Oh, I should get married. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm kind of feeling that.
You feel the
social pressure.
FOMO?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Maybe you'll be a dad soon.
But
FOMO.
FOMO's never good.
It's not a good reason for having a kid,
Yeah.
definitely. South Korean government has also implemented various policies to address the declining birth rate, like financial incentives for families, support for
That's probably was because the financial incentives are very important. Because I feel like a lot of people choose not to have kids because of financial reasons. Like, yes, some women don't want to have kids. It is what it is. But I think a lot of couples just cannot afford because kids are expensive. So if you need financial incentives for that.
care and efforts to provide a better work-life balance. I haven't seen that effort yet.
There
do
are.
you feel it?
Yeah, there are some policies like matchmaking
And like
posted by the
daycare.
government. And I was actually wishing those would be the reasons to this balance.
Well, I don't think they actually contributed too much, but I do think like if you're at the edge, like you're like deciding, oh, maybe or maybe not, then that kind of pushes you over. Okay, I'm getting that money.
Yeah.
Despite this progress, challenges still remain. Birth rates continue to vary across regions. Urban areas like Seoul are still experiencing incredibly low numbers. In rural areas, the problem is there's still low birth rate, and also Korean people are not having kids anymore.
What does that mean?
It's mostly non-Korean people.
Oh, okay.
I'm an international couple myself. We're taking over.
Oh, right.
The pure Korean gene is about to get.
As long as we have more people, whatever.
Yeah. We need hands.
We need to save the country first.
Yeah. Anyway, birth rate is still extremely low compared to what we actually need to replace our existing population, which is 2.1. The latest data revealed that there were actually 120,000 more deaths than births last year. So we're slowly making a shift. South Korea's population peaked.
I guess it wasn't 1.2, it was 2.1 that I was meaning to say. I misspoke when I said 1.2.
At 51 million in
because it's a little bit over 2 kids per couple.
2020, and it's expected to shrink to 36 million by 2072, which actually seems quite far away, and to be honest, at that point it's not my problem.
Wow. What?
The biggest problem is this. Among that 36 million, like 70% are
elderly,
seniors, elder people. There will be a Tinder for seniors probably at 2072.
Yeah, so for those of you who might not know why this population decline has been happening, is there's no jobs in the rural area. Everyone's flocks to Seoul. Seoul's prices of housing and living costs all go up. People can't sustain themselves. How can you even manage a marriage, which is very expensive? It's very materialistic too. How can you even raise a baby in this competitive society? You need to go to private academies. You don't want to put your children in that.
Raising a child is very expensive.
It's very expensive. All these economic, societal problems, structural problems all combined. And there's also gender conflicts as well on top of that. So this all mashed up. And on top of that, like, even more recently, there's a unilateral joint bill that passed in the Congress for pension reformation. But there was super big backlash on that because it basically said, oh, the younger generation, you pay more. Because our
thing is with pension reformation, the old people not gonna agree with it because it affects them. The young people want to make it less or whatever because they don't want to pay as much in taxes. So it's I don't think pension reformation is the way to go because those people have put their dues in.
Yeah,
they did their part. Yeah.
pension is depleting. So if the lawmakers are making decisions like that, like how are younger people gonna think of like, let's have babies and
this country has a bright future. Oh, and I think to be honest, the media, maybe YouTubers, we actually, I think, make it work. Like we're reporting the problem and that's part of our job, right? But at the same time, because everybody's talking about, oh, no one's having kids, this country's fucked, that makes me not want to have kids.
I disagree. Even if it were
Nah, I disagree also. I think that makes you want to reconsider not having kids.
not for the media, the reality is like that, and the media is just presenting that on display. That's what media's existence is for. Like, you need to tackle those societal problems so that it makes more buzz and the lawmakers and the administration and everybody get their attention on it.
Yeah, that
because
too,
it's
he
a
has a
social
good
problem,
point.
and then we make more policies beneficial to our society and like a more baby-welcoming society and all. You might have a point that the media is spreading more word about the problem, and it might, in short term,
Now I understand China,
in short term affect individualistic minds, but in the long term, I think that's what media should do in order to make big reformation. I think it's definitely needed.
You know what I
more
think
money, subsidiaries.
the government needs to do? I think they should make these Disney-like cartoons for the kids about how it's nice to have lots of babies.
For real?
Brainwash these kids.
It's
How-
not fair.
lots of
Our
what?
generation's fucked, but at least the next generation, put that shit on TikTok.
We need a massive reformation in our whole societal structure.
Also, I think what kind of probably helped to reduce the birth rates, helped or caused contraception availability. I think back in the day the contraception wasn't as widely available.
Or was it taboo to be seen?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, nowadays there's so many different kinds, so it's like it's easier to, because there was a lot of accidental births, I'm sure, back in the day.
And also misinformation on how babies are made.
Yeah, because I think I saw a stat, teenage pregnancy, we talked about it, I looked it up. In the past 10 years, it has gone down like significantly.
We need to disperse Seoul. I think that's the biggest problem. We need government organizations to different regions.
And that's in the United States we're talking about, not Korea. I don't know about teenage pregnancy in Korea.
Make more jobs in different regions, make it more easier and affordable for housing. That's the first thing. But then I recently went to Singapore and then they have houses.
Rental condos.
Rental condos for like marriage. I heard so many people get married very early just because they get that house. So those kind of policies we can crawl from different nations.
I mean, in Korea, we have a similar policy. You can get a rental condo for very cheap in Korea that you can live up to like 10 years.
But then it's all like lottery, right? And the competition is super high.
It's not that high.
If you go to like unpopular areas.
That's the problem though. Like, okay, in
that's
Korea,
why the Seoul thing.
So many cheap houses outside of Seoul. But everybody just wants to live in Seoul and they think their life is a failure if they don't live in Seoul.
I don't think it's like a preference issue. It's just that there are no jobs, there's no economy there.
There's no economy.
There's no choice but to live in Seoul. Anyways, I thought this was some happy news, but the silver lining is you guys come to Korea
and marry some Korean man
exactly.
or woman.
The international marriage rate is going up. Even around me, I see a lot of international couples having babies.
Really?
Yeah, time for you.
Yeah.
Please come to Korea and rejuvenate our country.
Yes. Fill us up with your babies. Yes. And on to the next news.
So let's get serious again.
So I guess they live in Korea? Because they speak English with no accent. I thought they were American.
Kim Se-ron's family reveals alleged text with Kim Soo Hyun. Her family has come forward claiming that actor Kim Soo Hyun was in a romantic relationship with her that began when she was still a minor. And please note the following report includes sensitive material. The information is based on the family's statement and has not been verified by a court or official investigation yet. At a press conference on March 27th, the family, alongside their attorney Boo Ji-seok, revealed reconstructed KakaoTalk messages and a handwritten letter, which they claim confirm a 6-year romantic relationship between Kim Se-ron and Kim Soo Hyun, allegedly starting when Kim Se-ron was 15 years old. Here are some of the text message excerpts.
Do you want to see me or not, Kim Se-ron? Kim Soo Hyun, you, of course, I want to see you. If you don't say it, I don't know. You're cute when you ask things like that. I want to see you, I really do. That sound like a child though. When can I sleep holding you? I think I'd really sleep well then. Yeah, I'll allow that. 1 year, 3 years. 1 year is too long. 1 year too long, 6 months then.
When was the date of these text messages?
I don't know. Smooch, you'll really do it later, right? Is even this not allowed? No, it's not. I'll do it. Yeah. So they know it's wrong.
Also, this is movie.
Shows how you
They know it's wrong.
Black-founded brands. I'm
Oh,
car
is this
accident
not
injury
allowed?
attorney Jared
They still
Blakely
do
from
it.
Blakely Law Firm, and I'd like to speak to you today about an important issue: car safety for our pets.
So attorney Boo commented, if this wasn't a romantic relationship, then I asked Mr. Kim Soo Hyun to explain these exchanges. At the time, Kim Se-ron was 17 years old. The family also released a handwritten letter allegedly written by Kim Se-ron in April 2024 after receiving 2 legal notices from gold medalists demanding 700 million Korean
She
won.
was 17 at the time, not 15 though. Because initial claim was 15.
In damages over a contract dispute. According to the family, Kim Se-ron attempted to deliver the letter in person but was blocked by building security, and thus she later attempted suicide, and the family released a photo reportedly showing signs of self-harm. In the letter, Kim Se-ron wrote, "We were together for about 5 or 6 years. You were my first love and my last love. Seeing you unwilling even to speak to me makes all the time we spent together feel hollow. I'll always support your work, your love life, your happiness." Due to length and time constraints, we aren't able to cover the full text in the letter here, but it was truly heartbreaking. There was also a letter from Se-ron to Moonbin included as well.
That was really sad.
Yeah,
that was very tragic.
Yes. But coming back to the news, the family emphasized that they are not accusing Kim Soo Hyun of any criminal offenses, but say that the legal pressure and lack of direct communication contributed to Kim Se-ron's emotional suffering. Further controversy arose after a man claiming to be Kim Se-ron's former boyfriend publicly stated that her death was due to the family's neglect, not Kim Soo Hyun, but the family strongly denied this, releasing text messages between Kim Se-ron and her mother and the aunt figure to show ongoing support and care. They also explained that Kim Se-ron had hidden her emotional struggles and marriage to avoid worrying her parents, who were reportedly present during several past suicide attempts. They are considering legal action against the ex-boyfriend and also plan to sue YouTuber Lee Jin-ho for defamation and stalking. According to the family, Kim Se-ron harmed herself multiple times after watching his broadcast, prompting them to request a legal suspension of his content.
Oh, that's...
Wow.
That don't make no sense. So she cannot handle what the guy has to say, and the guy is at fault because she's too sensitive? That don't make no sense to me.
That's awful.
You go watch somebody and then you want to do something to yourself, and that guy's at fault
awful.
because you watch him? That don't make no sense.
tragic.
Also making headlines was a US-based man who claimed he legally married Kim Se-ron in January 2025. He shared a New Jersey-issued marriage and said they separated shortly after due to irreconcilable differences. He denied allegations of abuse, forced abortion, and coercion, calling them baseless.
This is getting very messy.
Yes, following the controversy, Kim Soo Hyun has faced major professional setbacks. A fan meeting in Taiwan, originally set for March 30th, was canceled. Multiple brand endorsements, including Prada, Home Plus, Shinhan Bank, and more, have been cut. Advertising and drama-related penalties are estimated to exceed 200 billion won, and if delays continue on his Disney Plus series knockoff, total liabilities could reportedly reach 1.8 trillion Korean won. So while gold medalist maintains that Kim Soo Hyun only dated Kim Se-ron after she became a legal adult, the release of private messages and personal letters has only deepened public scrutiny. The family says they are not pursuing revenge, but they seek accountability for those spreading false information. They also ask the public to refrain from excessive criticism of Kim Soo Hyun.
How?
And as this case remains unresolved, legal proceedings and further developments are expected in the coming weeks. So discussion is, if this were to be true, what is Kim Soo Hyun's fate, and how do you feel about the late Kim Se-ron?
I think it's going to be very difficult for anyone to recover from such a huge nail in the coffin.
Yeah,
Like the
I
text.
don't know how you come back from that. Your career is over.
Who, the guy?
Yeah. You have a body on you.
That's not his fault. She took her own life.
Yeah, but even if it's his fault, not his fault, he's associated with that.
I don't know.
Even with just a thought, it's not a good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are pretty much like what a couple was sent to each
I
other.
just don't like that they're trying to blame everybody for her death except for herself. Like, she's the only one at fault here, not anybody else. It's really bothering me.
I do think she's included too as well, but everyone has like a part into it too as well.
Really? A YouTuber has a part for making videos, and she
I
knowingly clicks to watch it and then harm herself. If you still don't like something, don't click it.
That's why you have
You
to
don't
be
have the
careful.
self-control to click
You
it.
have to be careful with the energy you put out there.
Stop it.
I do believe that.
Nah, you
I do
can
believe
hold
that.
somebody talks
I'm not
about
saying
you,
that. I'm
and
not saying that.
you wanna watch, you click on it to watch it, and then after watching it you harm yourself.
I don't condone such behavior.
Like, come on.
And definitely, like, even if they're not a couple officially, like, it's just weird that like a 27-year-old man sends something like that to a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Trying to engage in some sort of flirty conversation with a middle school kid, like, that's just hard to imagine for me. That's definitely not normal. So
He's done. He's
those
good.
texts are final. What I just don't understand is, like,
Yeah.
the family keeps saying that, oh, we're not trying to pursue him, we're not trying to get revenge on Kim Soo Hyun, don't attack Kim Soo Hyun. But like anyone knows, when you're revealing these kind of texts,
This is all a means to prove that Lee Jin-ho is wrong, and at least now come up and put strength on our words. Oh, I couldn't really read the full text.
that's difficult.
It's very difficult because it comes from a very private manner. It's a look into Kim Se-ron's thoughts.
They're very
In her
honest.
mind.
It wasn't meant to be read by us.
Right, exactly. You can see how emotionally fragile and mentally broken she is in the letter. The one with Moonbin and the one she's sending to Kim Soo Hyun as her last SOS call.
I just don't think it's, I mean, like, it's their choice, but like a person's private, like, after they're passed away.
Yeah, it could have been like paraphrases or like the general content of the letter. So I know that the
Crazy,
family already mentioned that they've tried to contact a lot of media outlets and they all refused. So their last choice was Karosero Yonguso, but it's a very it's a weird
I
relationship.
think
where
because we don't see it in its entirety, it's not impacting you.
What?
Her last moments, like what state she was in her last moments. She seemed to be at a very vulnerable state. I can imagine if the guy was able to read the note, if he could at least prevented her from
It's not his
pulling
job.
for the edge. Yeah, but I know, but that's the problem with these kind of dynamics and this kind of relationship.
She's being toxic in this case, not him.
Yeah.
Which sucks because he
But
has
he
done a lot of
feeds
shit.
but he feeds into
she's
that
the
too
one-
as
she-
well. That
she
type of
basically
dynamic.
wants.
That's why you don't go and play with minors. You leave them
No,
alone.
that was wrong. Nobody's even talking about that. There's no need to even go there. But she wants to put her life on his hands, basically. That is just so
'Cause
fucked up to put that on
she
him.
viewed him as her world. It's not right, but
It's
that's
fucked
the
up.
stage she was in.
It's fucked up. That's not his fault. That's not the parents' fault. That's not the YouTuber's fault. It's nobody else's fault but her.
I think someone
I'm
should have
tired
done
of
something.
trying to blame everybody but her. We're
I think
blaming
someone-
everybody.
No, her included too as well.
No,
she's
she's
to blame
the
too.
only one, not included. She's the only one at fault. She made that decision. Nobody pushed her. That nobody.
Someone could have told her no.
How would? Well, I guess there were more
She showed
attempts.
signs. Yeah, there was
Well,
multiple times.
She's a grown adult. She did that to herself.
Kaseon is definitely like capitalizing on
That they are.
this. When the parents are also in a very emotionally
Right.
fragile state. But it's truly tragic when we see the actual text messages, the letters. The letters actually broke me.
Yeah, the letters are.
She got very affected by Moonbin's case as well. Very, very sad. One thing for sure is Kim Soo Hyun is never going to recover from this.
No, I don't see it.
I don't see it happening.
Especially if her
yeah,
words are
there you
out
go.
there.
Nah, I think he'll recover. Look at Sungri. He's fine, and he done way worse. I
He
think
don't
he'll
have a
recover.
dead body on him.
He doesn't have either. That's not his fault.
That's not that can be perceived in many ways.
Nah, he'll be just fine. Okay, he's not gonna go back to what he used to be, but he'll live a good, fine life.
That's the case so far. We'll keep you guys updated, but I do hope that we can have some more positive news here and there. Seems like a lot of negative
Korean,
stuff happening.
You know how they don't even judge people for that. He'll be
I
fine.
don't know. They judging
Happening
him
in Korea
now.
nowadays. There's a whole wildfire. Just 26 people plus are dead.
It's still ongoing.
Yeah, we have like
very
3
tragic.
impeachments going on. We have.
But we'll keep you guys updated.
All right. This is a long video.
Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord, and as always, share as much kindness as possible.